Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Focus TV. So happy to be back with you all this week. As always, so much has happened in the world of sports between each and every time that we talk with you guys. Uh, as always, Octavia Wyatt, Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley Jr., Wilson Turpin Jr. And we got a lot to discuss tonight. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl just a minute. Octavia, I told you I'm mad at your boy. Me and Andy got a beef. We're going to get into some G League discussions. Told you guys last week, that's coming up. Literally starts tomorrow. Raymond's going to fill you in on the Wizards. Got some quick comments. Pretty much like an extended version of Rapid Fire. And, of course, your boy Hayward's back with the 950 breakdown. So, Octavia, I'm going to hand this over to you.
Well, I'm mad too because the one thing I didn't want for the Super Bowl was for it to not be competitive it was kind of boring. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep it a buck. And the reason it was boring was not the reason I thought it would be boring if it was. So if you've been living under a rock and you haven't seen anything, then you don't know that the Super Bowl was this past Sunday. And it was Kansas City versus Tampa Bay. And the team everybody thought that was going to win did not. Proving once again, never bet against Brady. Kansas City lost to Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. Kansas City had 9, Tampa Bay 31. Patrick Mahomes went for 26 of 49, 270 yards, 2 interceptions, and 5 carries for 33 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 9 carries for 64 yards and 2 receptions for 23 yards. And Travis Kelce had 10 receptions, 133 yards. On the other side of the ball, Tom Brady, 21 of 29, 201 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 carries for -2 yards. Leonard Fournette, 16 carries, 89 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 receptions for 46 yards. Gronkowski, 6 receptions, 67 yards. Not 1, but 2 touchdowns. And Antonio Brown, 5 receptions, 22 yards, and 1 touchdown. When I say that this was just, I felt like we all knew it was possible because it's Tom Brady. But when it came down to it, just looking at it, like everybody pretty much thought Kansas City was going to run it back. And it was the complete opposite. Todd Bowles had a brilliant plan to control Patrick Mahomes. Now, yes, some people will want to say that part of the reason for that is Mahomes was missing 2 people off of his offensive line for this game, and it was very, very telling of that. He was missing offensive tackle Eric Fisher as well as Mitchell Schwartz, and he was running for his life all game. What's crazy is it didn't really turn into positive yards like we would normally see from Patrick and being able to move the chains. It was just the opposite. And Tom Brady just picked their defense apart. Like, it was kind of easy. Of course, there were a lot of questionable calls, a lot of pass interference calls that may not have been, should have been called. We have this discussion every year on the Super Bowl, but again, the team who goes out there and plays through it is a team that usually wins, and to me, that's what it looks like this go around. As opposed to the first time they played this season, the Buccaneers defense got burned by Tyreek Hill for 269 yards and 3 touchdowns in Week 12 of the regular season, and that was not the case this game. They were not having it. I mean, even to Winfield Jr. with the taunting call, with doing the same celebration that Tyreek Hill does, it was just crazy. Like, I was not expecting it. And for the Bucs to go on the road every game in the playoffs, beating the number 2 defense in the Washington football team, beating Aaron Rodgers, beating Drew Brees, to get a home game in Tampa Bay as the first team ever to play in their home stadium in a Super Bowl, and to get Tom Brady his 7th ring, it was just unprecedented. Like, nobody could write it better. And again, like, we have to stop betting against Tom. You know, sometimes it's hard not to. Every time I feel like I do, it just doesn't work out well. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season last year this is where we would have been, I wouldn't have believed you. I thought they had a good chance of getting here, but I didn't think that it would be this. And then to have an overwhelming defeat of the defending champions, 31-9. Pat not even getting a touchdown, nobody getting a touchdown on the Chiefs. It was the first time that Mahomes has ever lost by more than one score as a starter. First time ever. He's never lost a game by more than 7 points. This is the first time he ever did it. Of course, we all know he had some issues with his foot, but that can't be an excuse with the turf toe. It is reported that he's getting surgery today on that turf toe, but I don't know. Like, what are you guys' thoughts? Because I'm going to be honest, like, third quarter, I pretty much went to sleep. It was pretty bad. And I'm just glad the season is over. If you haven't noticed, I haven't worn not one Philadelphia Eagles sweatshirt in forever. Season's over. We're starting over. I'm back again. But, you know, we can just start all over now. But, yeah, and I mean, I definitely want to hear you guys' thoughts on it. Before I do, I just wanted to run through one other thing really quickly. If you didn't know, Saturday was also NFL Honors, where they did give out the awards for the NFL season as well. Your MVP was Aaron Rodgers. Your Offensive Player of the Year was Derrick Henry. Your Defensive Player of the Year for 3 of the last 4 years, the same name, Aaron Donald. Your Offensive Rookie of the Year was Justin Herbert. Your Defensive Rookie of the Year was your own Washington Football Team's Chase Young. Comeback Player of the Year, also your Washington Football Team, Alex Smith. And Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski, the Browns head coach. Of course, they had a great year. Walter Payton Man of the Year was Russell Wilson. They do have some other awards that I guess I didn't realize that they do. Assistant Coach of the Year was Brian DeBoer, who's the offensive coordinator for the Bills. Clutch Performance Player of the Year went to the Hail Mary by Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins. Fantasy Player of the Year, I guess that's the thing, Josh Allen. And then they have this thing called the FedEx Air and Ground Players of the Year. For the air, of course, it was Aaron Rodgers. For the ground, it was Derrick Henry. Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award winner this year was Teddy Bridgewater for the Panthers. And apparently, they give an award for Celebration of the Year. I watched it. I didn't think it was that great, but Steelers celebrating Chase Claypool's touchdown. Didn't look all that interesting to me, but I guess they won. But that was just a rundown, just the award winners for you guys. How did you guys feel about the Super Bowl this year? Anybody? I don't know. Underwhelmed as we all were, maybe.
I was good either way. I was good either way because I don't get caught up in that Brady hype. You know, when we gonna talk about him later, the greatest athlete of all time. I don't get caught up in that. Don't get me wrong. If you want to say he's the greatest quarterback of all time, cool. Greatest athlete, that's a bit of a stretch though. But I was good with that, and I'm a Broncos fan. I don't care about the Chiefs, so I was good either way. I'm just like you said. It's like you said. I just like a competitive game. I like competition. I like it. I don't care if it's if it's a shootout. I don't care if it's a defense competitive game. I just like competition where you on the edge of your seat. Like, all right, who gonna keep making plays and win this game? You know, and that's across sports. You know what I'm saying? Well, at least team sports. So that's my stance on it. But yeah, it was just Brady and them took advantage as you expect Brady to do. And it ain't just Brady. I'm gonna just say the Bucs. Really, their defense was stout, man. Let's call it what it is. I mean, they got after Mahomes, and I mean, this just shows you how talented Mahomes is, man. They was shoestring tackling him, he falling, throwing his sidearm, and the joint was still hitting dudes in the face mask, and they still couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
I mean, my man can't do too much more, dog. It's like playing Madden, man. They just drop the passes. You just like, I can't control this, man. What you want me to do? So, it is what it is. It was that night. Obviously, I think as an organization, this ain't been talked about much. You know, what happened off the field, you know, with the Chiefs and whatnot. I think that disrupted them a little bit. or whatnot. But yeah, man,
Right.
I was good either way, man. It's just sad that it wasn't more competitive because honestly, the game was over at half.
Yeah, I tried to get him to the third quarter. That's why I was like, I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Yeah, man. I'm just, like, I ain't have no strings attached. I wasn't particularly rooting for anybody, but I did want to see a more competitive game. But the Bucks came out and did what they had to do. Of course, the Chiefs' O-line issues were huge, and then the Bucks' defensive plan. They showed Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill the respect they deserve, and was like somebody else has got to do it for them. And I mean, it's hard when you got to depend on your third option, especially when you're running for your life the entire game. So they had a great defensive plan, they executed, and and the offense did what they did. But yeah, man, I hate to see, especially in the championship game, just a snoozer like that. That was kind of disappointing. But kudos to the Bucks. They came through and got it done. Yeah, it would have sucked for them if they got to be the first team to play in their home stadium and lost. So I'm sure there's a bit of satisfaction in that they got to win on their home field. But yeah, man, it's yeah, I was disinterested in that game well before the clock read 0. But I mean, Tampa Bay, they got to take a hats off to them. They did what they had to do, and
Yep.
yeah, like all the narratives and the BS surrounding the game, like, does this define Mahomes' legacy and all that foolishness? Like, can we got just we got to just leave that type of stuff at home, man. Like, come on, man. The dude's he's got a whole lot of football in front of him, and it don't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. So, yeah, other than the nonsense, the Bucks played a near perfect game, and the score reflected that. So hats off to them, and I'm sure Mahomes going to be back next year with a vengeance. And again, since people don't like hiring black people for head coaching positions, they're going to be fully retooled with their coaching staff and their roster. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be on some get back. So I'm anxious to see what they do moving forward.
Hey, to piggyback what you were talking about with the Chiefs and keeping their coordinators, how about the Bucks? Todd Bowles, Byron Leftwich were amazing in this one, and just want to normalize bringing that up on a regular basis because Brian Daboll hasn't won a championship, but the Bills making the playoffs. I've heard Brian Daboll's name ad nauseum. So I'm not talking about us, but just folks need to get in the habit of having the same energy when folks that look like us are coordinators and putting that type of game plans or whatever together. Give them their proper credit because so far it's just one person did it. And, again, we've talked off wax, but I thought Todd Bowles was amazing. He literally, his game plan was stuff that I've never seen him do because it was against trends that we've seen forever. So credit to him. Like Cardell said, that's how you tell what a good coach is. You do what you need to do to win. He did just that. And obviously Brady executed the game plan on his end. The defense executed their job. And like you said, Ray, anybody that walked away with, I had respect for Mahomes before that game. Walked away with with even more reverence for the kid afterwards, watching him run around, spin in circles, jump over hoops, and throw the ball more accurately than folks that have a perfect pocket in place. Like it was nuts. Yeah, that's different. If y'all seen the clip of the Bucks receivers in the field watching their defense, they were Mahomes, and they were like us, like getting little fans, like, yo, how do you do that? He just spun around in a circle. Whatever. Like, it's crazy, man. But again, like you said, the legacy thing is wild. But, of course, talking points in today's age, fun times, like Cardell said. I'm sure we'll get to it later on in Rapid Fire. Ray, what's going on with the Wizards, sir?
They won yesterday. No, you're not used to hearing that around here, but the Wizards, they did beat the Bulls. I believe the score was 105-101. With every win they've had this year, actually minus the 2 against the Nets, it's been defensively driven. Of course, against Brooklyn, that's a whole different story. because their offensive firepower. But yeah, man, this type of defensive effort has been the cornerstone of when they've shown any resemblance of success. And we talked about it last night on a Wizards recap. They just have to find a way to make this the norm. Every time they show this type of effort defensively, we talk about them kind of making this the standard moving forward, and they can't regress. And unfortunately, they regress more often than not. But yeah, man, they did get a win. They're back at it tomorrow night. Hopefully they bring that same energy. Cardell brought up the point that maybe it was Bradley Beal challenging them after the Charlotte loss, and saying how they basically got rough, and and they responded favorably. So whether Bill needs to continue to do that, whether it be in practice or what have you, then if that's what they need, then Bill needs to recognize that as the best player on the team and a leader, and continue to push them in that way. Because it sounds different coming from one of your peers as opposed to the coaching staff. When the guy standing next to you in battle is saying, "Hey, man, you're not holding your weight," it kind of hits different. So, man, it's low key stressful watching this team. But it is what it is at this point. They're not very, very talented. And they're just gonna have to gut out wins like this. But on the flip side of that, they have proven if they do bring that effort and intensity defensively, they can compete with anyone. So I don't know what needs to happen to make this click with them, but and as we've brought up a couple times, this is a very rough part of their schedule. So they are going to need to bring this level of defensive intensity if they plan not to get blown out by 30 every game, because they got some heavy hitters coming up. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we report on more wins, but if not, we're going to talk about what happened all the same. So yeah, we'll see how it goes tomorrow night. I think they got Toronto, so who's a bit of a weird team this year. So maybe that's a good chance for them to to gain some momentum and get back-to-back wins.
All right, Cardell.
All right, well, G League. The G League season begins tomorrow. It'll go about mid-March. Kicks off tomorrow at 11 a.m. between the Santa Cruz Warriors and the G League Ignite. And for those who haven't been watching our show or unaware, the G League Ignite is the team that fills potentially about 5 lottery picks, guys that didn't go to college, came straight out of high school, and are using this year to develop in the G League and playing against overseas competition. They kick things off tomorrow, 11 a.m., I believe, on ESPN or ESPN2. I have to check that. But I rehashed that on last week. What I'm going to get into today is local guys that are playing in the G League that you may want to keep up with. It's a long list of them, and it goes to show you how hard it is to crack the league, that these guys who were standouts in college that we kept track of in high school are having to fight their way at the pro ranks to try to get a shot at the league. I'm going to start with Nate Darling, former DeMatha sniper, played at Delaware. He's suiting up for the Greensboro Swarm. Mamadi Diakite, Blue Ridge School with the Virginia, also played for Takeover. He's suiting up for the Wisconsin Herd. Jeff Dalton Jr. Saw a lot of him covering GW in the 18th. Played at Rhode Island, also played at St. John's. He plays for the Lakeland Magic. Jesse Govan, Georgetown Center. He's actually playing for the G League Ignite, along with the kids that came out of high school that are trying to showcase their talents and hopefully get drafted with June or July. They also signed some veterans to help guide them and also to prove their case to try to crack the code and get into the league. Here's another one, Jared Jack. Needs no introduction to this area. Played for many high schools, DeMatha, went to Mount Zion, Pilati, Georgia Tech, NBA veteran. He's playing for the G League in 19 too. Caleb Johnson played at Georgetown. He's playing for the Austin Spurs. Najee Marshall, former Eleanor Roosevelt Hargrave standout, played at Xavier. He's playing for the Erie Bayhawks. Daxton Miles Jr., Baltimore kid, played at Dunbar, played at West Virginia. He's suiting up for the Fort Wayne Mad Ants. Tariq Owens is another Baltimore area kid, played at Pilate and Mount Zion Prep, finished his career at Texas Tech. He's playing for the Long Island Nets. James Palmer Jr. played at Nebraska, played at Wise and St. John's in high school around here. He's suiting up for the Agua Caliente Clippers. London Parentes, former Virginia guard, Austin Spurs, Trevin Queen, North County High School, played a little bit there, finished up in New Mexico State. He's suiting up for the Rio Grande Vipers. Josh Reeves, former Paul the Six Oak Hill star, suited up at Penn State. He's playing for the Texas Legends. Justin Robinson, who was with the Capital City Go-Go, played high school at St. James in the area, played at Virginia Tech. He's with the Delaware Blue Coats now and Old Mary Year 7. Former Georgetown center. He's suiting up for the OKC Blue. And as for the Wizards, we're going to keep an eye on a few of their youngsters that they sent down, Jordan Bell, Yoli Childs, Caleb Holmesley, Marlon Taylor, and now Cassius Winston. And they will be playing for the area band.
To you all, my fault. Just reminder to you all, like Cardell he's been warning you guys and priming you guys for the G League that kicks off tomorrow. Just like after Wizards games, nightly on Wednesdays and Fridays for G League, got something special for you guys with the G League rundown. So that's Wednesday and Friday nights, and then already with the Wizards after every Wizards game, we got Wizards Outlook again. We will see you far more than just Tuesday evenings. We're gonna take our first break. When we get back, little college update, then we'll get into some 9450 and extended version of rapid fire tonight because why not? We're watching the Focus TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Focus TV. As promised, quick college update. Cardell, you want me to go first, or you got a brief update this week?
Yeah,
Let
me just knock it out. GW men's and women's, all their games are postponed due to COVID. Go ahead, Wilson.
See, guys, like I told you, very brief. All right, for Maryland women's, Brenda Frese got her 499th win in her Maryland coaching career as Maryland routed Wisconsin last Thursday, 84-48. Frese has tied the mark set by the Hall of Fame coach that preceded her, and Chris Weller. That said, her team didn't waste any time getting after the Badgers. Maryland took a lead 19 seconds into the game when Chloe Bibby jumped the passing lane, scored in transition, and they did not look back. They led at 20 plus by the half, 30 plus at one point in the third. Katie Benson led the Terps with 18 points. I believe she is still shooting over 50% from three a year, which is still nuts because she takes a good high percentage of her shots on her fact threes. Ashley Owusu had 17 points, 5 assists. Mimi Collins and Chloe Bibby had 14 apiece, while Diamond Miller added 11 points. Faith Masonius really stepped up. She came off the bench and had her first double-double of the year with 10 points and 11 rebounds. Maryland's next game is Sunday at Nebraska. That game starts at 5 p.m. That could possibly be Coach Frese's 500th career win at Maryland if they take care of business. Also, cannot leave this segment without mentioning Ashley Owusu is one of 30 players named to the Jersey Mike's Naismith Trophy mid-season team. She's leading the Terps with 18.9 points per game. Let's go ahead and say 19. 5.4 assists, 5.8 rebounds. She's currently third in the Big Ten in assists. She's sixth in scoring and 12th in field goal percentage. So yet another list that she's found herself on, very deserving of it as well. But again, Maryland's next game is Sunday at 5 p.m. Jamal Hayward with the 9-4-50 breakdown. This week he's going to be showing you guys breakdown of Kobe reverse pivot on curls. Again, it's of Kobe's reverse pivot off curls. So check that out, followed by our second break. And when we get back, rapid fire. Watching the Focus TV.
I just guarded me. I just guarded me. He doesn't know how to guard. Facts. I just guarded me. That's it now. I go play on the guarding me. That's it now. I go away off the I spin away. Get square. Shot. So, make sure. Here. Left, right. Square. Shot fake. Get turned all the way around. That's the middle foot that you begin with. Get square all the way around your feet and your hips are facing the rim. Shot, okay? Same thing we're doing right now. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Focus TV, and as always, just want to say thank you to Jamal Hayward for knocking out the 9-4-50 each and every week. Hope you guys all take something from it. All right, Cardell, gonna hand this thing over to you, man, with extended rapid fire.
All right, we ain't gonna delay this. Obviously, following the Buccaneers Super Bowl win, there was a lot of talk of, a GOAT debate was, sparked again. And this time with Tom Brady having 7, they're saying he's not the greatest football player of all time, not the greatest quarterback. They're saying he's the greatest athlete, period, of all time. What are your thoughts on that? Start with you, Octavia.
I think this is just a knee-jerk reaction to the fact that he won another Super Bowl. Is he a great football player? Is he a great quarterback? Has he had an amazing career? Has he won numerous titles and MVPs? Yes. But when I think of the greatest athlete of all times, I think of somebody who's athletic. I'm sorry. When has Brady been like crazy athletic? I don't remember him escaping out of a pocket, jumping over people, slanging the ball sideways. That's just what I think. I think there has to be some type of athletic ability in it. Most of his career, he stood behind a line and threw the ball accurately for most of the time. Yeah, I can say that. But greatest athlete of all time, I'm not there. He's the GOAT, if you want to say, in football, with quarterbacks and things of that sort. Great. But there are plenty, I won't say plenty, but there are other people who are worthy of being called the greatest athlete of all time, in my opinion.
Raymond.
Yeah, man. He the great white hope, man.
Call him Big Hope.
But yeah, no, I mean, I don't understand how, maybe my understanding of athlete is not accurate, but like Octavia said, it usually denotes some heightened level of athleticism when you're being called the greatest athlete ever. I'm just totally confused by all this, especially based on the things we've seen other people accomplish in their respective sports. Like, I get it. He's seven Super Bowl rings is amazing, but he doesn't even affect every area of the football game. Not taking anything away from what he's accomplished, but yeah, man, they got to chill with all this. When you got somebody with a career resume of a Serena Williams who's been dominant since I've been in high school. Let's just be a little respectful here. But yeah, man, kudos to him. He's got 7 rings. We'll probably never see that again, but greatest athlete ever, I gotta nix that. Because it's just not the case, man. I'm sorry. We have a gymnast who constantly has to get moves after her because nobody on earth can do them. And she's Simone Biles, she's probably isn't she like the most decorated gymnast ever?
And she's like 5'3".
So I mean,
like, let's keep it a buck.
yeah. So like, yeah, just please stop, because it's getting foolish at this point, But yeah, the short answer is no. I don't agree with the sentiment that he's the greatest athlete ever, or even close to that conversation. If you want to call him the greatest quarterback ever, do your thing. That's fine. But he's not even the greatest athlete ever in the NFL. You look at a guy like Deion Sanders. Like, I mean, Bo Jackson. Like, seriously, man, it's so many more. Barry Sanders, right? It's like it's a lot of names we can run down. They may not have had his success, but in regards to just being a pure athlete, we respectfully please leave Tom out of that conversation, because the thing about him has been that he's been able to excel despite him not being a great athlete. So yeah, we're kind of mixing accolades here, but they can do their thing, man. It's cool. It ain't making me lose no sleep.
Patty Wilson, let's go.
Look, I can't top Octavia. So, like this one of those like cases where you just stay in your lane for real. Like, if you want to argue that he's the greatest quarterback, I'll entertain it. Like, I won't laugh you off the earth. I'll at least entertain that conversation. That's fine. But leave it right there, right? Because when you open it up to the greatest athlete of all time, now you're including folks that don't play team sports. And now that's a whole different thing when you bring him up out that lane. Because, boy, he don't rise up above them folks. Like you brought up Serena, you brought up Simone, Federer, boxers.
You
like
saying both.
Yeah, like freaking Michael Phelps. The one he had, like, we just gotta, Usain, like you said, Usain, like, just leave that where it's at, man. It's cool. Like, just leave it in its nice little box. It's fine. It's okay. Some things aren't meant to play with other things. That's a different discussion for a place that he does not qualify for. He doesn't meet any of the prerequisites for that other discussion. Just leave it alone. Because when you start talking about those other people, 7 is all the way down there with some of them things. When we start, putting accolades up, 7 ain't 7. 7? What's 7? What that mean? Some of them had 7. Some of them got 7 of just one type of thing. Like that little clip with Serena walking her trophy room had me down here. And I got to entertain this. She ain't even know what won so much. I don't know what's what. Stop, man. Like, and we're not even getting to some of the all-time greats. And I'm not going to mention some of the all-time greats because he shouldn't be mentioning this in that conversation. Like, we just leave it in this nice little box. It's really nice, NFL. He won 7, and he has that. Let him have that. Do not take that toy out of its box. It doesn't need to be over there with everything else. Just leave it right there. It's a safe place. See, I was nowhere near as petty as Octavia because she laid down the gauntlet. I had nothing to add. That was it.
I'll add to the pettiness. How can somebody be the greatest athlete of all time? And 1, they run a 40 an hour. 2, can't jump over a phone book.
You said an hour.
One thing you said, Raymond, that really, and he does. I mean, Raymond, one thing you said that makes total sense. He doesn't even affect every aspect of the game. So that immediately takes you off the list right then and there. Because let's be real, if your defense was trash, it doesn't matter what you do offensively. You're not going to win. And I'm not saying doing all the shit that could have was. I'm just giving you a perspective. Whereas you look at other team sports, we didn't bring up Wayne Gretzky. He has to play defense. He has to score. We didn't bring up Michael Jordan. We didn't bring up Bill Russell. Serena, of course. We can go there. Like we can go to the WNBA. Maya, what they did. The Houston Comets, Cynthia Cooper. And some of these people have never tasted defeat. They don't know what that's about. So, and in a way, I understand individual sports is tough. You got to bring it, but really, you're depending all on you. It's all on you. That's pressure. But it's hard as hell to win a team sports when you don't know what you getting out this fool going to wrestle during the finals. Man, this dude injured, and you still got to figure out a way to win this thing. Meanwhile, this other team hungry to beat you too. That's tough to do, and then never lose. Or you know what I'm saying? Or how about you have racism on your back? You know, Jim Crow, you win a championship, but you can't eat at the restaurant right after the game because you black. Or what if the federal government's on your back because you don't want to enter the army, you don't want to enter the service? They call you a draft dodger and stuff like that, and they take your belt, but you come back and still become champion. Like you gotta. I'm tired of people ignoring adversity. Adversity is a true thing, and you have to overcome adversity to win champions. That's why when for me, I leave it alone. Respect. I don't care. I know it's the little argument with the Warriors and Cavs with LeBron and all that stuff where certain guys got suspended, got hurt. I'm like, that's just adversity. You know what I mean? You got to find a way to get over it. So we ain't make excuses when Stephen won, when Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt. We ain't about to make excuses for the Warriors when, hey, Draymond got suspended. You got to figure out a way. Y'all was still up. That's just what it is because you have a series of games to make it happen. Just like the greatness of individual. You said Simone Biles, Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps. It was times Michael Phelps got off to a slow start. Dudes had the lead on him. We're like, oh, man, this is about to be it. And then he just walked him down. You see what I'm saying? That's adversity. That's what makes you great. That's what it is. That's what makes athletes stand above other athletes. Respect to Tom Brady, man. He has all the intangibles. He's dedicated. Boy, sharp as hell, ultimate leader, all that. But the greatest athlete of all time, he has to depend on other athletes to get the job done for him to thrive. So you can't have that. You just can't have that. Now, maybe if he was more of a running quarterback like a Michael Vick or something, and affect the game all different type of ways, maybe. We ain't even bring up Jerry Rice, who done won all types of Super Bowls and put the record so far out of reach. It's no discussion at his position. To me, he's the greatest football player of all time. Because there's been some monster. He wasn't more athletic. He ran a 4.7. But it seemed like on the field, a lot of these 4.2 dudes couldn't do nothing with him. So something's going on. So that tells you the type of dude he is. So you gotta give respect where it's due, man. It's just I understand a certain demographic of our population is happy. You know, it's been hard for them. You know, obviously for a while. You know, they don't get too many of these. They don't. They just you just smack around. It is what it is. They don't get too many of these moments. So you know they happy right now. You gotta give credit where it's due, but chill with that, man. It's just disrespectful, man. You know, like I said, like even Serena, man. Serena, it's laughable. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, man. It is what it is.
And I mean, not to forget,
you have to be athletic,
like,
greatest athlete.
I mean, people was deflating balls and recording other teams. Like, how you gonna be the greatest? How you gonna be the greatest when you got like 2 gates? You got like a deflate gate, recording gate. Like, come on, y'all. I'm saying.
Hey, Octavia, you can't say that. Octavia, you hating. You can't say that these days. You can't bring up nothing negative these days. It's all positive. Look, hold on. I'll tell you, why don't we just appreciate Tom Brady? Come on, Tay. Like, just appreciate him. Appreciate his greatness.
He said he got 2 gates.
Hey, look, I can show you how long it takes me to appreciate him. I'm done.
Oh.
Congratulations.
I did.
You stood back.
Like I did.
I mean, you said he can't even jump over a phone book. That almost took me out. It took him an hour to run for. I can't. I saw this
again. Like, look, man. Like, the 7 is amazing. Leave it in its box. Don't take that out of the box because it gets ugly. Everybody can't be put in that other conversation. Just leave it alone, man. It's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine.
No doubt. Listen, we're gonna move on. Russell Wilson. He asked whether he's available in a trade. He said that's a Seahawks question, and he also said, you know, I'm frustrated with getting hit too much. We're going to start with you, Raymond. Seems like Russell Wilson's getting kind of fed up with the lack of protection and the questions of, you know, his place with the franchise and all he's done. I know Wilson want him gone. Yeah.
um, yeah, I think that was the most diplomatic shade in the history of interviews. Because he didn't come out and say whether he wanted to go on that. He put it on the organization. And then he pointed out the obvious. He's tired of getting punished back there. So they better do something because that could very soon turn into, hey, get me up out of here. And then at that point you're just at a loss. So yeah, man, like that was a master class in PR right there. That's how that when you're in his position, that's how you respond to that question. You just put all the onus on the organization. Don't come out and say anything, super reckless out of your own mouth. He said, man, look, they handle all that personnel stuff. Me personally, I'm just tired of getting hit all the time. And it's truth. Like nobody can deny that he's been under duress for a while now. So yeah, man, he put their backs against the wall. So yeah, they got to figure that out. Or yeah, I don't think he'll be there too much longer. But that was hilarious when I saw that. I really appreciated that because it's never not fun to see an organization get humiliated by the star player in a classy way. If he's out there just saying all types of wild stuff, that's something different. But I mean, he just laid it out. They're in charge of determining who plays for the team and who doesn't in trades and whatnot. Me, I just need y'all to block or get somebody on the team that can block since you're in charge of personnel. So yeah, good job, Russell Wilson. Hopefully they figure that out. And if they don't, hopefully he gets into a better situation. But yeah, man, no, that was whoever his people are, they've prepared him wonderfully to deal with that type of stuff.
Mr. Tarpon.
Oh yeah, man, get him out of there. Go, man. Grant his wish. He's being a malcontent. Get him out of there. Start anew. Get him out of there now. I know a great place. They got the 12th pick. We can iron it up right now. Let's get it done. Who cares if it's in the division? Just 12th pick, good way to start over. You keep your first pick, maybe even throw a couple thirds in. Why not? Take 4 picks. I don't care. You just can't deal with that type of character, man. What is he doing calling you guys out? Just ship him out. Matter of fact, make an example out of him. Ship him in the division. That'll really teach him. Seattle, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing? You know how bad y'all bungle things up that he wants out? Like, low-key, like, peep this. So, they've had a low-key coaching tree come out of Seattle, and some of the coaches have been more successful other places than where they came from. Yeah, I'd be pissed, too. I'd be mad. I'd literally be upset. Like, you sit here wasting my time. You wasting Bobby's time. Like, we used to have a mob. And I get that, some people left or whatever, however that was. You ain't even try, like, within the last few drafts, you ain't even kind of, like, rebuild right. So now you're going into an offseason, the cap a little bit lower. Some of the folks that were supposed to replace the other folks, jury's still out on those folks. They keep getting into a situation where it's, hey, Russ, fix it. Nah. Then I saw some jokers today like, well, he holds the ball too long. Man, what you want them to do? That line is in that division. The reigning 3-time defensive player of the year plays his team twice. You think he's going to be happy? Would you be happy? I wouldn't. But yeah, trade him. Get rid of him. Yeah. I can't stand the guy. Get him out of here.
I'll say I'm sure you love the services of Russell Wilson.
First of all, like Ray said, I love how it was a classy clapback. Especially being a black quarterback, they always expect us to act crazy and say all types of stuff out the side of our neck, but classiest way ever, that's something they handle. And I don't blame him because, like you all have already said, he's been running for his life forever. Like, it seems like ever since he's been in the league, and I feel like they've always banked on the fact that he could run. He would always get away. But I mean, Russell's not that big. Let's not forget about that. As well as he plays and as fast as he moves, he's not that big. I wouldn't want to get hit by these big people running after me either. Like you just said, Aaron Donald plays him twice a year. And then, I mean, I know he wasn't there this year, but Nick Bosa will be back next year as well. We already saw what he could do in one season. Like, he's going to be running for his life forever. Like, a crazy stat that I just happened to find, it says that Wilson has been sacked 394 times in 144 regular season games. Almost 400 times in 144 regular season games he's been sacked. They said that is the most in a player's first 9 seasons since the 1970 AFL-NFL merger, and Randall Cunningham is next at 366. So that's still 30 more times. Like I would kind of be tired of getting hit too, you know? So classic quarterback, it's like the ball's in their court now. Like, what you gonna do? Because I'm tired for him.
It's an easy solution. It's an easy thing. And I'm talking to the Seahawks. You can tell right now he's trying to decide: do I keep dealing with this, or do I retire, chill with Sierra, enjoy my life? That life with Sierra is starting. You can tell it's starting to sound a little bit better. I mean, yeah. Hey man, we all saw the little video of her walking out on the little football field. My wife saw it. She was like, God damn. I'm like, she was like, yeah. Even with women was giving. Yeah. Yeah, Russell Wilson, like, he wake up in the morning like, shit, I got this shit. Damn. I'll be back there. God damn. Like, come on now. They better wake up. That's a nice light. Other than that's a nice alternative to getting blasted every Sunday or Monday or whatever. So, hey, Mr. Wilson.
I was going to say, while Octavia was listening, Octavia was listening to people. Chandler Jones comes back next year too. Mind you, he been getting hit like this. The other three teams in his division built their lines to chase him. Bro, I'd be heated. I sat there watching 3 other teams. The only thing the other 3 teams do well is draft people to come get me. They bungle everything else, but they keep finding jokers to come hunt me. Hey, what's your 3 gonna look like? Hey, come here. We got to get Russell Wilson.
That's a great point.
Whole organization don't make no sense. They got a pass rush though, because they got to deal with you. That's the only thing they do right. They mess everything else up, but all of them got pass rushers. Chandler, Bosa, Aaron. Oh, God, I'd be heated. And then they can't protect you.
Exactly.
Oh man. I think we got time for one more, Cardell.
Okay. Looks like we about to last question. Yeah. And young boy that's taking over. I forgot Kyler too. They're trying to chase Kyler too. So yeah, they're gonna be overloading with those guys. At least they should. We gotta close it with this one. I'm sorry. I'm so disappointed in my guy Kevin Garnett. And he has a new book coming out, obviously, and an interview with the New York Times. Yeah. They said he's very complimentary of today's NBA. He said the game is at another level. I want you to get on the court. He said basically right now the style is I want you to get on the court, sprint corner to corner, stop on the dime, and shoot a 3. I want you to do 10 of those. And I want you to focus on how tired you are, because these players do that for 48 minutes. I don't think guys from 20 years ago could play in this game. 20 years ago, guys used their hands to control players. Now you can't use your hands. That makes defense damn near impossible. Can you imagine not hand checking Michael Jordan? Nah. The fact that you can't touch players gives the offensive players so much flexibility. Defensive players have to take angles away and stuff like that. But if you have any creativity and ambition, you can be a great offensive player in this league. The fadeaways, one leg runners, one leg balance shots, that stuff that Dirk Nowitzki brought to our game. And now when I watch Joker play, it feels like he has taken that Dirkness and mixed it with his own talent. And Steph Curry revolutionized things with being able to shoot it from distance with such consistency. Klay Thompson, Dame Lillard, these guys changed the game. I don't know if even the guards from 20 or 30 years ago could play in this time right here. It's creative, it's competitive, it's saucy. You'll get dropped. A effing cross, effing whatever you said, will cross you over and break your ACL these days. The game is in a great place. Okay. We're going to start with you, Wilson. Just we're talking about the guys from 20 or 30 years ago prior to
that. Somebody you played with would cook in this era. I know you trying to sell a book, but what are you doing, sir? You played with one of the dudes who's tailor-made for this era. Like Marbury he just came along too early. When he was taking them 30-foot threes, people like, man, he's a psycho. And he just knew it was coming, apparently. Wasn't crazy. It's 20 years too early, I guess. And that's the crazy part, bro. You played with him. What is wrong with you? Even and those type of guards were creative. And the fact is, they did business while you tried to put a hand on them. Right? You take the hand away, it's over. It is legit over. Between Steph, we talk about Iverson. Matt could do whatever he want in this league because they don't know what to do with the taller version of him. So Tracy will have a whole bunch of fun out here. At least all the guards, like literally all of them. You could just go through from 2001 on and just go through the fun guards. And Baron Davis would murder people just for being alive because he weighs just as much as some of the centers right now because everybody's small. Nothing but body bags coming down the lane. All body bags. Ain't no footers down there. There's no resistance or anything. Look at some of the guards that are going crazy right now. They don't even have some of the packages that those guys had. Like it's I get you trying to sell your book, Kevin. This was a bad quote, sir. Your book was probably gonna sell. It's either gonna sell or it's not. This was terrible. You're better than this. I need you to retract that statement. That's horrible. That's horrible. Like, and I'm sure I left like 30 people's names off. That's a really bad statement, man. That's really bad. Yeah, I'll be quiet. That's horrible. That's bad.
I'll tell you.
I definitely think it's exactly what Wilson said. He's just trying to sell some books. He's just trying to stir up some controversy, get people trying to figure out what he's talking about. Because I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what game he watched. Maybe he didn't watch enough. He played too much. He wasn't really paying attention to people. But yeah, maybe he was just too focused on his team and the team he had to play against that one night and just moved on to the next one. He didn't really look at it as a whole. But yeah, to say that he doesn't think any guards from 20 or 30 years ago could play now is ludicrous. And he needs to write a retraction statement ASAP. or like they need to like kick him out of any NBA group chats they got. Like, you can't come talk to us no more because I don't know what you're talking about. And I love KG. You know, like my favorite number was 21. Like that was it. Like his shoes, everything. Like we looked at him like that, so it's got me looking at him sideways now. like are you getting a little old, getting a little senile? Like what's happening in the brain area up there? You know, so yeah, I'm gonna need him to, as we say, take several seats, sir. Just go on about your business, say your little book. Don't talk about that no more. I'm sorry.
Facts.
Yeah, I got some evidence that's gonna shut it down. Go ahead, Raymond. After y'all done, yeah, we're gonna get this on there.
Yeah, yeah, my man might have CTE from headbutting the backboard support too many times. But he's not one that I expected this to come from, because I know he doesn't even believe what he's saying. And then the weirdest part about it is he used Michael Jordan to try to prove a point about today's game. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Bro.
Like, come on, dude. And then what's even weirder is he himself is more tailored for today's game. Like he kind of like, dude, like what are you doing, man? Like your credibility took a hit here, bro. Like and again, like just like y'all, I love KG as a player, man, but come on, man. It's unnecessary, man. It's unnecessary. I don't know who promised you what to say that, but like, yeah, man. Like that was a little disappointing coming from him because he's one of those guys that embodied that old school mentality, you know, and that and I'm not saying every old player has to totally demean today's game because that's not what it's about. But we're not just gonna get on here and say just complete foolishness. Like all the players y'all brought up, Stephon Marbury, Baron Davis, Steve Francis, man, shoot, take Nick Van Exel and put him in today's league. Take a player like Mahmoud and put him in today's league. J. Kidd, what do y'all think these players would do, man? When you can't even touch them?
Tim Hardaway.
Oh my God. like seriously, man. Like, yeah, he could have kept that to himself. Like, and I
definitely could have kept it to himself.
I don't understand how he slept since he said that, because that was like, how can he look at himself in the mirror, man? Like, he know that was bull. He know it, and I know he knows it. But yeah, man, go ahead and go ahead, Cardell, man. Just go ahead and shut this thing down.
Hopefully, y'all can see this. Hold on.
Oh, that's Steph Curry.
Playing this era. See you this summer. Someone's going to push you back.
Okay, so if the preeminent guard now, hands down the best point guard in the league, saying, Brandon, yes, you for sure. It's not even a question you can play down. And I love BD. Grew up studying him and everything like that. He was one of the more talented guys. He could rumble with anybody. But at that time, it was J. Kidd, it was Stockton, it was Gary Payton, those guys. They were at the top of the mountaintop. They were the guys winning, getting to the finals, defense play, all that. Now, if he's saying that, I say Baron Davis was basically probably at his best top 5 to 10 point guard in the league, which is great. If he's saying that guy can not only play today, but do damage, what do you think all these other point guards would do? It's common sense. I'm tired of people always trying to feel like they throw this thing out that the game today, guys are so much stronger and more athletic and stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out when was the last time you seen somebody running a 3.5 40 or something, or got a 16-inch vertical? Like, what changed? The measurements are similar. Meanwhile, they got personal trainers and stuff since they like in elementary school. And you know what I'm saying? All the old school dudes all they did was just go outside and poop with older guys. And they still was doing it with and Chucks. I'm still trying to, I want to ask Dr. J, like, how did that feel doing that Chucks? It hurt. It's like you playing in socks. I'm like, damn, dog, but he got it in. Him, Dominique, and all them, they got it in. It's just, if you want respect, you got to give it. And I don't know where this crap came from, where it's cool to diminish older eras and stuff like that. I don't know where it came from, but we didn't grow up like that. We appreciated the greats from the yesteryear. Like, give us the knowledge so we could be better. You know what I'm saying? Be the best we can be. Because like I always say, they got the answers to the test. They know what to do and what not to do. While if you're a player coming up, you're trying to figure that out. And it's not easy to always figure out. So that's why you need vets to teach you certain things and stuff like that to help speed up the learning curve. So, and here's another thing. They're more skilled, they're more athletic, tougher. That's what I'm being told, right? But then they changed the rules to make it easier for you to score and handicap defenders. So how does that make sense? If you are so much more skilled and all that, you should be able to cook this old style defense, right? But they had to change the rules to make it easier for guys to thrive. It makes no sense. I just don't get it. Like, I just brought up Baron Davis and shout out Baron Davis for showing love and stuff like that. But He was 6'3", 225. He would be the biggest point guard in the league right now if you don't include, Ben Simmons, hands down. So I'm trying to figure out where this coming from. And KG, after Jordan, everybody know KG is my favorite player. I got number AAU 21, college jersey was 21, all that. That was my guy. But I know he's trying to sell the book. I know it is, and it's disappointing that he took this way. Like, dude, people's gonna buy your book because you were all-time great because of what you did on the floor. You ain't even have to do that. And I'm like, that's where we at, where we just gonna throw hot takes out there and stuff like that and just hope it sells. That's where we at with everything now. Like, damn, I thought he would have been one of the last people I would have thought would do that. Like, I'm like really disappointed, man. Bama's hitting me up like, what's up, man, KG? I'm like, bro, I don't even know. And even Baron Davis said, I don't know about KG. I damn sure can play now. He said that. He tweeted me and said that. I damn sure can play now. He said, and we're going to see this summer. There's going to be a lot of phase given out because these dudes tripping. And it's just like, look, man, no one's in this era. We give dudes their props when they earn it. It just seemed like this day and age, people want props just for the attempt or doing it once. No, you get it props for the consistency of your greatness. You see what I'm saying? So we're not going to just give you anything. We weren't raised like that. You got to earn, partner. And it's like everybody wants things given before they earn. Look, we give people their props. Is Steph Curry the greatest shooter of all time? Hell yeah. Is he a current player? All right, then. I love what Luka coming there doing. Tearing people's heads off. He disrespected his area. He said it's easier to score in EuroLeague than it is here in the league. 19 years old coming over saying that. What do you want? I mean, what kind of praise is this era looking for? I don't understand. Shaq, he get on Donovan Mitchell and everything. You see, they've been winning ever since, right? Like Shaq said, you're welcome. Mm-hmm. It's called motivation. It's like you're not exceeding, you're not reaching your expectations. And I don't think these youngins in the league today don't understand, like, you only got a small window to try to capitalize on your opportunity, and then it's gone. And then you trying to figure out how to make it happen and stuff like that, and you can't make it happen. It's Deion Sanders said something. I'm gonna close with this. He said something on this podcast. He said today in sports and society, we have become obsessed with mediocrity. We're celebrating mediocrity and shortcuts. And you see that across the league. So when someone calls you out on that, you're automatically labeled a hater. Now, I think it's something backwards where we celebrate NBA champions and stuff. And I'm talking about this here. We celebrate NBA champions who team up and come together and try and win. But we say Steph Curry has something to prove when he literally lifted up a doormat to dynasty level. He did it the hard way. He had something to prove. It's not as appreciated or respected. But you got guys that took shortcuts and figured out how to get other top tier players and come together on one team, and they win, and that's celebrated. That should tell you all you need to know right there, man. So yeah, I'm disappointed, KG, man. I don't know what the heck that is, but I hope his book sell. I hope it was worth it. But trust me, I know he got hit up. I know some dudes was hitting him up like, what the you talking about, dog? I know they did. They on my social media talking about
Speak for yourself. You can't play now. I'm good.
And again, because we're gonna close out, like this era could barely deal with the washed version of some of the dudes. Like some of the dudes that were there. The washed version of the Celtics was annoying. Like the washed version.
Let me say this real quick. Have this fool seen the Wizards play? Those dudes can run some of these roster spots on the Wizards. Have they seen the Wizards play? And that's just one team. I'm just going to hometown team. You say you bring the rest off that, it's 10 other dudes. Two ways and stuff. They really can't play with them. All right. I hear you. Robert Lopez is the starter this Sunday, man. But they're so much bigger and stronger, faster and athletic and more skilled. It don't make sense.
It never did and it never will. I mean, it never did and it never will. You got what's it called? The smaller guards from back then couldn't do anything. The dude leading the league and the dude leading the league in scoring right now in Washington, ain't he about the size of some of them dudes you said they couldn't do nothing? But I digress.
Bill's not even a freak athlete. He's not a freak athlete. Luka, I call him Larry Bird Jr. for a reason. He got all that. He's not as tough as Bird, and not as quite as big, but he got all what Bird had, and he's far from the most athletic, and they can't do nothing with him. He be playing with him. Be bad. Look at Jokic. He's another dude that he run a 40 an hour. Come on, man. He's another dude, but he be murdering those dudes. He murder all those athletic dudes. So something's up. So I'm just saying, I mean, I don't know. Something ain't adding up because it's just common sense at this point.
Hey, common sense ain't too common. Want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Hope you guys have a good one. Like you said, we'll be around this week between G League Rundown, Wizards Outlook, and then next week we'll be back for episode 197, Focus TV. You guys have a good night.